Ice hockey, one of the most dynamic and fast-paced sports in the world, has a rich history that spans centuries and continents. Its origins are deeply rooted in the cold climates of northern Europe and Canada, where early forms of the game were played on frozen lakes and rivers. The sport's evolution from informal winter pastime to a professional, internationally recognized sport is a testament to its enduring appeal and cultural significance, particularly in Canada. Please hit that like and subscribe button before moving on. The origins of ice hockey can be traced back to various stick and ball games played on ice in northern Europe. The earliest recorded reference to such games dates back to the 16th century in Scotland, where a game called shinty was played on ice. Similar games were played in the Netherlands, where the game was known as golf, and in Ireland, where hurling on ice was popular. These early forms of ice hockey were often chaotic and lacked standardized rules, but they laid the groundwork for the modern game. In Canada, the sport began to take on a more formalized structure. The first recorded game of ice hockey in Canada took place in 1875 in Montreal, organized by James Creighton, a Canadian sportsman who is often credited with bringing the game to the country. This game was played indoors at the Victoria skating rink, with 9 players on each side and a wooden puck instead of a ball. The rules for this game, published in the Montreal Gazette, were a significant departure from earlier forms of the sport and set the stage for the development of ice hockey as we know it today. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were a period of rapid development for ice hockey. The game's popularity spread quickly across Canada, and the first amateur hockey league, the Amateur Hockey Association of Canada, IIHF, was formed in 1886. This period also saw the introduction of the Stanley Cup in 1892, originally awarded to the top amateur team in Canada, but later becoming the most prestigious trophy in professional ice hockey. The trophy was commissioned in 1892 as the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup and is named after Lord Stanley of Preston, the Governor-General of Canada. As the game evolved, so did its rules and equipment. The number of players on the ice was reduced from 9 to 6, the size and shape of the puck was standardized, and protective gear such as helmets and pads became more common. The introduction of the forward pass in the 1920s revolutionized the game, making it faster and more strategic. The National Hockey League, NHL, founded in 1917, became the premier professional league for ice hockey, with teams from both Canada and the United States. In Canada, ice hockey is more than just a sport, it is a cultural institution. The game is deeply intertwined with Canadian identity, symbolizing the country's resilience, teamwork, and love of the outdoors. For many Canadians, hockey is a way of life, a source of national pride, and a unifying force in a vast and diverse country. The emotional connection Canadians have with hockey is perhaps best exemplified by the 1972 Summit Series, an 8-game series between the Canadian national team and the Soviet Union. This series, played during the Cold War, was seen as more than just a hockey competition. It was a battle of ideologies, a clash between democracy and communism. When Canada won the series with a dramatic goal by Paul Henderson in the final game, the entire nation celebrated as if they had won a war. The series had a profound impact on Canadian society, reinforcing the idea that hockey was Canada's game and solidifying its place in the national consciousness. Economically, hockey is also a significant contributor to the Canadian economy. The NHL, with 7 Canadian teams, generates billions of dollars in revenue each year, with a substantial portion of that money coming from Canada. The sport also supports thousands of jobs, from players and coaches to broadcasters and arena staff. Moreover, hockey is a major draw for tourism, with fans travelling from all over the world to see games in iconic Canadian cities like Toronto and Montreal. Several key events in the history of ice hockey have transformed the game into its current form. One such event was the introduction of the Stanley Cup playoffs, which began in 1892. The playoffs added a new level of excitement and drama to the sport, creating a do-or-die atmosphere that captivated fans and players alike. The Stanley Cup has since become one of the most coveted trophies in all of sports, with its own storied history and traditions. Another significant event was the expansion of the NHL in 1967, which doubled the size of the league and brought professional hockey to new markets in the United States. This expansion helped to grow the sport's popularity beyond its traditional strongholds in Canada and the northern United States, making it a truly North American phenomenon. The 1980 Miracle on Ice is another iconic moment in hockey history. During the Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, the underdog US national team, made up of amateur and collegiate players, defeated the heavily favoured Soviet team in one of the greatest upsets in sports history. This victory had a profound impact on the global perception of ice hockey, showcasing the sport's unpredictability and the power of teamwork. Another pivotal moment in hockey history was the inclusion of women in the sport. The first official women's ice hockey league was established in Canada in the late 19th century, and since then, women's hockey has grown significantly. The Canadian women's national team has been a dominant force in international competitions, winning multiple Olympic gold medals and world championships. The rise of women's hockey has added a new dimension to the sport, inspiring a new generation of players and fans. One unique aspect of Canadian hockey culture is the phenomenon of hockey mums. These dedicated mothers have played an essential role in the development of the sport, often serving as the backbone of youth hockey leagues. Hockey mums are known for their tireless support, from early morning practices to long road trips for tournaments. Their contributions go beyond the rink, as they help instill values such as teamwork, discipline, and perseverance in young players. The term hockey mum has become synonymous with the sport itself, reflecting the deep emotional and familial connection many Canadians have with hockey. The story of ice hockey is one of evolution and transformation. From its humble beginnings as a winter pastime in Northern Europe to its status as a global sport, hockey has undergone significant changes over the centuries. In Canada, hockey is more than just a game, it is a symbol of the nation's identity, a source of economic strength, and a cultural touchstone that unites people from coast to coast. The game's rich history is filled with unique events and milestones that have shaped its development, making it one of the most beloved sports in the world today. The sound of skates on ice, the cheers of the crowd, and the thrill of a game-winning goal resonate deeply with Canadians. Hockey has the power to unite communities, bridge generations, and create lasting memories. We conclude with a saying by a former great Wayne Gretzky: "A good hockey player plays where the puck is. A great hockey player plays where the puck is going to be." Stay tuned to our channel for more interesting content.